Hello and welcome to Writing 101, episode 12. What if the things I write worry other people? Sometimes when we are writers, we write things that are dramatic, violent, and concerning. This doesn't mean that there's something wrong with us. This doesn't mean that we're upset. It just means that this is what we're writing. Sometimes that can be very difficult for other people to understand, so we have to try to soften the blow or help them to understand that this is not who we are, this is just what we write. The very first thing you want to do is to warn them before they read anything that you write. Explain to them that you know the difference between what is real and what is not. Explain to them that you are not a violent person or that you are not a prostitute. Whatever the questionable material is that may make someone concerned about you or behave as though you're scandalous, I guess. Whatever that material might be, to warn them that that is what you write, and if it makes them uncomfortable in any way that they don't have to read it, and offer them the ability to talk to you about what it is that you write if they feel like they are concerned about it. Anytime you are offering to let someone read something that has material that one might find questionable, you have to give them a guilt-free option to decline. There is nothing wrong with someone being uncomfortable with your content. It is not wrong with you and it is not wrong with them. They have what they enjoy, what makes them comfortable. They have what they don't enjoy and what makes them uncomfortable, just like anyone else. And it is okay that you write things that they don't enjoy, and it is okay that they don't read things that they don't enjoy. They are not responsible to read for you. They do not have to be comfortable all of a sudden because their loved one writes something that they typically wouldn't read, but all of a sudden they have to just be comfortable with it. That doesn't work either. That's unfair to everyone involved. If you write things about suicide or violence, keep in mind that you might have to explain to people that you are okay. Don't let that upset or discourage you. Remember that people who are asking if you're okay are only doing so because they care about you. The only time that I would recommend that you be real concerned is if a person is behaving as though they don't believe you're okay, and if that's the case, then maybe you should talk to them a little more in depth about it. But keep in mind that 99% of the time, if someone is asking you if you're all right based on what you're writing, they don't mean it to be mean. They're genuinely concerned. So try to keep that in mind and try to treat them as though that were the case. If your loved ones cannot read what you're writing and cannot support you in whatever capacity they may not be able to support you, your best bet is to go find people who can. There are people who enjoy all kinds of writing. There are people who will love what you write. There are people who will hate what you write. And accepting that and just moving on and finding the people who will love it is going to be more rewarding than fighting with the people who don't. You're not going to convince someone who does not read erotica to suddenly read erotica. You are not going to convince someone who doesn't read horror to suddenly read horror, or someone who doesn't read true crime to suddenly read true crime. That's a decision they have to make for themselves, and that is a decision they will ultimately do so. So forcing a copy of your book into their hand, begging them to read it, trying to guilt them, those things don't work. Find people who it is geared toward, because the people who don't want to read it aren't going to be very helpful anyway. They don't know what the tropes are, they don't know what the rules are, they don't know what a typical book of this nature is to be able to compare it to other things or contrast it with other things. These are things that they're just not going to be able to offer you. So trying to force them to read your stuff or love your stuff is probably not going to be helpful to either of you. And that being said, keep in mind that just because someone doesn't love what you write or doesn't enjoy the style you write in, doesn't mean that they're not being supportive. Anyone who is just outright refusing to be supportive, anyone who tells you you shouldn't write for XYZ reason, tells you your book should be taken down because they have these themes in them, tells you that you don't deserve to be a writer or that you don't have a right to release these things, those people you can cut out of your life. You don't deserve to be treated like that. Everything we write is valid. Anything you write, anything the person next to you writes, anything other people write are just equally as valid. The fact of the matter is that if you write garbage, then you will be treated like it's garbage. Keep in mind that there are a couple of kind of outliers in that area that this does not apply to. Things like racism, outright nastiness. If you're hateful and things like that, people probably will come at you. And I don't know that I can blame them. But this last topic really is very personal to me because I am a horror writer, and a lot of times people say, well, doesn't your family worry about you writing this stuff? No, because I'm a grown woman who has rarely done anything violent, and I don't think I've ever done anything violent that wasn't, at least mostly, precipitated by some sort of concern for my safety. Although I can't really guarantee that because I was very strange when I was younger. In my adult life, I have not ever behaved aggressively towards someone unless I was protecting myself or someone I cared about. So you don't really have to worry about that stuff. So just keep in mind that if you're gonna write things that other people might find scandalous, you're gonna have to be real grown about it because they very well might not be. Anyway, this is the last episode I have written, at least at the time of recording this. Hopefully that'll change. But please don't forget to leave topics down below. I kind of love this series, but I'm worried that I'm not going to have enough content to keep it up. So if you can think of anything that you'd like me to cover, anything you want me to talk about, please let me know. Down below you'll find my Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Snapchat, and my Patreon. Don't forget that on the off weeks for this series, I have the AUTHORTUBE NewTubers videos, which gives you a list of all of the new AUTHORTUBers I could find for the week. Well, for the 2-week period. Don't forget on that night, after the AUTHORTUBE NewTubers video goes up about 6:15 p.m., at 8 o'clock p.m. I will be over on twitch.tv/PlasticAgePlays for a D&D game that's all full of drow, and it's called Extreme Drowess. So if you are interested at all, please go and check that out. There's a ton of episodes up on Twitch, so you can go check those out and get caught up. Hopefully, it's a lot. But anyway, I think that kind of does it for this week. Have a wonderful week and good writing. Bye.